Happy Camper Radio, episode 13. Come on, let's go camping. Welcome back once again to the Happy Camper Radio Show. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And you, my friends, can be one too. We are podcasting on location. Daniel, you are out here with us, are you?
Woohoo!
Yeah, okay. We are podcasting on location from my backyard. It is the Great American Backyard Campout. And it sounds a little bit different, I know that, but that's okay because we're out here. We are barbecuing. We are camping out. We are having a great time. Everybody is here. Lots of good friends, lots of good fellowship. And, of course, all the pets are around, too. And you know something, Daniel? That's what we're going to be talking about today is our pets.
All right. Well, now it feels like the Great American Bite Out because I'm getting bit up by all these mosquitoes out here.
Well, you know, this is a prime opportunity, Daniel, for you to start watching the old folks and how we do it, okay? You come prepared. You know, you were a Boy Scout, weren't you? Okay. But anyway, this is where it's happening right now, and we've got some great folks here that are joining us for this wonderful once-a-year event. And, yeah, okay, you can hear them all in the background. We've got Daniel, your lovely wife, Deidre. Hi, Deidre.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
That's my pet, actually. That's my pet.
Oh, let's listen to this guy. We're not paying this guy no mind today, okay? And we have our dear friends, Mel and Greg. Mel, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you all?
Okay, Greg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. I hope your campers are doing as well.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you something, and and I don't forget, last but not least, the non-camper, Lori.
Fill the chair.
Yeah, she's been on the grill, and she is sweating up a storm, but she is having a great time tonight like everybody else. Hello, Lori.
Hey, happy camper, Skip.
Yes, and this is the place. This is the place to be if you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. This is the Happy Camper Radio Show. 404-537-2267 is our phone number here at the program. You can call us anytime, day or night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we'll take your camping questions as well as any feedback, any criticisms, comments, anything like that you have. Just leave us your name, your phone number, not your phone number. We don't want to call you back. But anyway, we want to know where you're calling from. You can tell what kind of fun we're having out here. We do. And you want to know something, Daniel? We can't even start the campfire because we are in a burn ban.
Where did you do with the lighter?
Well, you know, the lighter is back at the other camp. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Anytime you want to go ahead and get in touch with us. Anytime you want to get in touch with us, give us a call. That number again, 404-537-CAMP. And we'll go ahead and take your camping questions and get you on an upcoming episode. Also, you can catch us on the web anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/happycamperradio. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. Daniel, we are having a great time out here. Your tent is pitched. My tent is pitched. We've got the citronella lamps up. Do we want to call them that? Or the tiki torches?
They're not doing much saving me from getting bit up by all these mosquitoes, Skip.
Well, Daniel, there's been bug spray sitting over here on the table. Look, somebody's even offering it to you right now, and you're just looking at it.
You know, I've used it, but I'm just so sweet. That's what my wife says, at least. I'm so sweet that it just gets, they want to get to me, even though I have bug spray on.
Well, Daniel, that's precisely why, she is sitting so far away from you and the bugs are crawling all over you. Yes, you are so sweet. We do understand that. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about pets and camping with our pets. This is so important. It's a good topic, a good conversation. Especially since we have a lot of your pets over here today visiting us, Daniel. How many of your cats are over here visiting us?
4, as far as I can see. I think, 5. About 5 of my cats.
5 of your cats, okay. And, of course, we do have our lovely, we don't call him a lovely pet, are we? And I'm getting the unusual look. Yeah, that's what it's called. No, we have Harper here with us. Harper he has had a great dinner tonight. I've got to admit that. And Lori's coming over. This is Lori's dog, all right? We've got to admit that.
Okay, since when was Harper our lovely dog?
Well, okay, I'll stand corrected on this one here, okay? It is your dog. It is Harper. But you know something? Everybody around here today who has been having a wonderful time enjoying good food and good fellowship has really paid Harper more than enough attention that he really deserves, meaning that Harper ate very well tonight. He did. And I don't think he's going to be up as early as we thought for breakfast in the morning.
Yes, Skip. And the reason Harper ate so well tonight was because you were feeding him. And I have told you time after time after time, don't feed the dog.
Well, you know, Harper's got them sad eyes. He just looks at you like, wow,
Okay, people, let me just clarify that because that sounded really bad. It's not that I don't feed the dog. It's just don't feed him scraps.
Well, you know something? We're going to go ahead and we're going to put Harper on the website so everybody can see what wonderful dog he really is, okay? But, he can be a pain sometimes, but he is overall a great watchdog, a great companion for Lori. And, Daniel, yeah, you are obviously the one responsible for bringing Harper home, aren't you?
He was in a park and he was starving to death, so I had to do something.
And let's while we're talking about that, before we get into this discussion on camping and pets, why don't you share with everybody the history of Harper's name? How did you come up with the name Harper? Because it fits him so well.
Well, I was at this park, and there was really bad rainstorm, and I was just parked there to wait it out, and here comes this big old pit bull out of the woods looking around, starving to death, and I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? What are you doing? And then he walked away, and I was like, okay, he's gone. And then I saw where he went. I went over to the woods a little bit where he went. He was under this tree looking as pathetic as humanly possible, and I said, oh, I got to take him. I got to do something. So that's what I did.
Okay, and you came up with the name Harper how?
Oh, he was at Harper Park, so I thought that was appropriate.
Harper Park. Well, yes, okay. Harper is a suitable name for him, and he's going to be keeping us company tonight. I hope he climbs in the tent here and sleeps with you this evening.
No.
If not, maybe some of your lovely cats will join in on the camping celebration here tonight and enjoy us. Yeah, okay. But anyway, we're having a great time here at the Happy Camper Radio Show. We are podcasting from my backyard as part of the Great American Backyard Campout, and I really had my reservations, Daniel, about whether or not we're going to pull this thing off, because earlier in the week, you saw what kind of rainstorms we were getting through here, didn't you?
It was pretty bad. I thought that this wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, and then I looked at the weather forecast, and I should have kept my eyes off it, because I start worrying when I start seeing a chance of precipitation in the air. Now, earlier in the week, it looked all right. But by midweek, we were talking a 30% chance of rain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I just said, no, we're going to pull this off one way or other. We put our tents up back there, and we're going to have some pictures on the website a little later on so everybody can see how we celebrated here during the Great American Backyard Campout Happy Camper Radio Edition. We did put our rain flies on just to be safe, and actually I got started, Daniel, a day early.
Well, I had to work, Skip, so not everyone has it as good as you.
Well, hey, no, I had to work too yesterday. Now I just happened to be off. And last night, I got to admit, Daniel and I, we were going to have burgers and fries on the grill. And Deidre, you were going to come over and join us too, weren't you?
I was.
Yes, okay. But you all decided you were going to go out and do something last night. And I stayed up all day long, and I pretty much, set up camp here. And it got to admit, it turned out very, very nice. And for the type of weather we're having, it's cool right now. It was a little hot earlier. But wherever you're camping out today, in your backyard or in your community or at your favorite campground, wherever you are, if you are one of the tens of thousands of individuals who are taking the time to participate in this annual event, I can only hope that your weather is just as wonderful as ours has been. However that was supposed to come out. But anyway, yeah, it did, Daniel. It's a little bit different from being at our regular campsite. where we just have all the magical buttons and everything to make everything happen. But we're doing it right here on my patio as part of the Great American Backyard Campout. Now, today we're talking about camping with pets. Now, Daniel, have you ever taken any of your pets camping with you?
When I was a kid, my parents always took our dog with us, and that was really fun. So, yeah, the cat's getting up on the table. Another great thing to worry about when you take your pets camping is them getting into everything. But, yeah, when I was a kid, my parents would we would take the dog, we would walk the dog around, and it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
And, you know, a lot of people, and I've got to say this, one of the great things about featuring the campground that we do at the end of every program, you know, the featured campground of the weekend, a lot of the ones we're choosing are from the recreation.gov website. I really admire the fact that just about every one, well, if not all of them, every one of the sites that we have visited turned out to be a pet-friendly campground. And I wouldn't want to camp in any other type of campground, Daniel, because I really believe people who love their pets are going to take their pets camping with them. Now, before I go any further, I want to take a moment here because we do have a special tribute that we are going to pay during this podcast, and that's, Daniel, to your wonderful close friend and companion, your cat, which in a sense is pretty much the whole neighborhood's cat, because everybody loved him to death. Mango, unfortunately, had to leave us this past week and cross the Rainbow Bridge. And he was a wonderful cat. There was an accident that happened about a week or so ago, and unfortunately, Mango succumbed to his injuries. But, you know, we're thinking about him. We're going to put a picture of him on the website in our slide presentation for everybody to see. But, Daniel, you know, I feel for you. You know, we all loved him very, very much, and you know, we're going to be thinking about him quite a bit. But, you know, if people have the attitudes that we do about our pets, your pets are like family. Family, you know, wherever you go, your family goes. Now, would it be wise to take a cat on a camping trip versus a dog? I've got to admit this, Daniel. I have never seen people at a campground who have a cat sleeping in a tent. Now, in the event I did come across something like this and didn't notice it, it was only because, you know, maybe the cat lived at the campground and just happened to be, you know, coming up and visiting everybody and getting a free meal 3 or 4 times a day. That's always a possibility. But I can tell you, as a cat lover and as the owner of cats, I could not see possibly taking any of my cats on a camping trip or anywhere outside the home for that matter. Now, do people take them camping? Yes, I believe they do, but they're most likely you're going to be in RVs, you know, and I can believe that, you know, you would go ahead and possibly take your pet camping with you in an RV. Now, Deidre, you have done this?
I haven't. Pardon my lack of voice this week, but I haven't personally, but my grandparents were living in their RV over the summer several years back. Once they had retired and they sold their house, and they actually did have their cat with them in their trailer. And we actually, when Daniel and I were camping just over Memorial Day weekend, we did see some people. They were in an RV, but we saw them walking their cat on a leash around the park, around the campground. So we have definitely seen it happen. We have not personally done it. I don't know if any of our cats would be trained well enough to do that.
You know, I tell you, I cannot ever recall somebody walking a cat on a leash. But, you know, this is, you know, maybe I just haven't been around. Now, I can tell you this much, you know, as far as, you know, taking your family dog camping, I see this more often than not because, you know, people will go ahead and take their pets with them because for the same reason I say, you know, people love their pets. Your pets are members of your family, but your dogs are going to be a little more easier to take care of and a little more easier to maintain than you will have at a cat at a public campground. Now, you know, if you're going to go ahead and take your pet with you on a camping trip, you need to prepare yourself and take your pet to the vet, have your pet checked out, And by all means, if you have not already done this, especially if you're going anywhere a long distance away from home on a camping trip, please have your pet microchipped. It's not going to take a whole lot of time to do that. It's not going to take a whole lot of money. But in the event you happen to get separated from your pet while you're out camping, there's a good possibility that somebody may locate your pet, and by simply taking them to a veterinarian or taking them to a local animal shelter, they can scan for these microchips. And just this past week, there was a story on the news about somebody's dog who happened to be found several states away. And it was only because somebody turned the dog into the local animal shelter, they were able to find this dog that disappeared about 3 weeks ago, and there was a very happy reunion. So you can't go wrong by microchipping your pet.
I'm glad you said this, Skip, because when me and my wife were camping up over Memorial Day weekend, someone lost their dog, and like every place we go to, actually when we were in D.C., someone lost their dog and they had flyers up. So yeah, I mean, taking a dog by all means is a lot easier than a cat, but you have to really make sure that you get them chipped, because they can take off. They're in a different environment. You're not really sure what they're going to do, and that is a very important thing to do, especially when you're camping, because everywhere we've gone so far, we've seen a lost pet, and it just breaks my heart to see that.
And Daniel, there's a lot of people that truly believe that, well, your pet's going to stick around and they're not going to wander off. But a lot of pets, even Harper, for example, all right, loves everybody. And, the last thing you need is having your dog venture away from you by you simply turning your back on him maybe 3 or 4 minutes and find out that he's no longer around. He may have gotten into another vehicle with somebody else. Somebody may have picked him up. Sometimes people, not thinking, will have their pet out there without a collar on them or some sort of an identification tag. So it's important that you take the time to go ahead and make sure that you have your pet not only tagged with a collar, but also microchipped. And again, you want to consult your veterinarian before you take your pet on any long-distance trip.
Well, here's the thing. I tried to convince my wife that she needed to be microchipped. She wasn't really into that. I like to call her my pet, but she just rolls her eyes every time I say something like that.
Folks, you can tell we're having too much fun here during this backyard campout, because if we were at our regular campsite with a campfire lit, Daniel, and I'll tell you something, I kind of really miss that campsite, but we're going to be back there. We're going to be back there again next week, and we will light the ceremonial campfire. 404-537-2267 is the phone number here at the Happy Camper Radio Show. We're taking part tonight in the Great American Backyard Campout, joining tens of thousands of people all across the country, and we hope you are doing the same. This is a great opportunity, folks, for you to introduce your children to nature. Now, if by chance you are in an area where the weather is not being very cooperative with you, if you do not have very good camping weather tonight, it's raining, and it's just everything is not working out the way it should be, no problem at all. If you went to the website and went ahead and registered, that's fine. You can still participate in all the games, all the activities. Just go ahead and camp on another night. That's what's so great about this. Camping is a part of my life. Daniel and Deidre, I know camping is a very big part of your life. And I see you out there more often than I do, myself, out there camping in the wilderness. But I've got a big camping trip coming up here in about 4 weeks from now when I go on vacation. And hopefully it's not going to be too far from home, and maybe you can go ahead and join us, and we can do another podcast right from my campsite, just like we are from my very own backyard right here at the Happy Camper Radio Show. I enjoy some pet-friendly campgrounds out there. I've noticed there's quite a few. Not only your public campgrounds, but also your private campgrounds are becoming more and more pet-friendly these days. And I believe, it's because people are becoming responsible pet owners. What do you think about that, Daniel?
Well, I think that after the kids leave the nest, that, the dog or the cat is the next best thing. And these people spoil these dogs and cats rotten. They do everything and anything for them. I think I saw a stat that said people pay more to maintain their dog or cat than they do giving to charities. So.
And I'll tell you, and there's a lot of truth to that. I can tell you every time that I go to the pet store, I've got to grab my wallet twice because it does get very expensive to feed these pets. You take them into your home, you love them, you care for them. When they need medical attention, you take them to the vet. And it's not like everybody has pet insurance. So, it can become a very costly venture that if you decide you want to go ahead and take on a pet. But I love my pets. I will have pets until the day it's time for me to depart this earth. And it's great to be able to take in pets like we do, especially the ones that need homes. And there are plenty of them out there that are in need of a home right now. And if you can open your heart, if you can open your home to just one pet, we can cure a lot of the homelessness that's going on in this world today with the pet population and the pets, the way they multiply. It's unfortunate. I hate to see a stray out there, and I'm kind of like you, Daniel, in a way. If I have an opportunity to pick him up and maybe find him a loving home, I would go ahead and do that. I wouldn't hesitate to do that at all. But we're talking about pet-friendly campgrounds. We're talking about camping with our pets today here on the Happy Camper Radio Show as part of the Great American Backyard Campout. And we're podcasting on location in my very own backyard where we will be camping out tonight as part of this annual event. Now, what you also might want to do is make sure that you get in touch or at least look up online the local vet in the area that you will be camping if you plan on taking your pet on the camp out with you. That's going to be so important because you just never know if the time is going to come when you're away that you have some sort of a medical emergency that you need to get your pet to an area vet. You take the time to research your campgrounds. You take the time to find out how you're going to get there and how long it's going to take you to get there. It's also going to be important for you to make sure that you look up a local veterinarian in that area just in the event something were to happen and you need to get medical attention for your pet. So important, folks. Keep that in mind, too. And, definitely keep your pet on a leash. Don't ever allow your pet to wander at a campground, because we don't want to hear any more tragic stories, just like the ones you told us tonight, Daniel, where some of the pets happen to venture off. And speaking of one of Daniel's cats, I think Daniel kind of ventured away from the podcast for a moment because he is just loving all over his orange tabby cat right now who just come up here looking for attention. Hey, and I've got to admit, he ate pretty good tonight, didn't he? Yes, Deidre, huh? Yes.
He did. He had himself a whole rib to himself.
Now, DJ, what's I know I don't mean to poke fun at you, but I know your voice is very, very hoarse. Are you yelling at this guy today?
I wish. No, I was at a concert the other night.
Who'd you see?
Oh, you were screaming at the Deidre. Teenagers do that. Well, hey, you go ahead. You could tell us.
Yes, I was seeing the first love of my life, Donnie Wahlberg from the New Kids on the Block, so I was screaming at him. Yes, I was like a teenager again.
Well, Deidre, I'm sorry, I can't get so excited about that because at my age, I don't know who Donnie Wahlberg is. It? I don't know who that is.
Deidre, you sold me out. You went without me. We're not friends anymore.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're at the Great American Backyard Campout again here in my backyard. We are having a blast tonight. As you can tell, we have a great audience here with us. We don't get to do this all that often. But, Daniel, one of these days, my biggest dream is to take this show on the road at a public campground where we can stream it live with a huge campground audience. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be
that really would, okay? And I'll tell you what, we will make sure that we have our pets on a leash. That will happen for sure.
My wife will be on a leash.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you might be sleeping in that tent by yourself tonight. No, Deidre, I'm talking to you. I think he's the one that's going to get kicked out, isn't he?
Yeah, he might be sleeping on the ground outside.
Daniel, if that be the case, don't come knocking on my door. Okay. It brings us up now to our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And this week, we head off to the state of Idaho. Daniel, we are going to Sam Owen, Idaho. This is a great public campground, and yes, it is a pet-friendly campground. They've got a lot of great amenities there. Take a look at their data range availability. And you know, folks, and unfortunately, I don't have a computer out here with me tonight where I have all this stuff in a big screen. So I'm kind of squinting at my eyes. And here's Daniel, Mr. Technology here, holding up his iPhone with a flashlight on it so I can see it. You know, Daniel, one day you are good. Well, one day, Daniel, you are really good for something here on the program, okay? And within this campground, they have got a lot of great amenities here. They have got beach access. There is a huge lake there, and it's hey, you'll be surprised. This lake spans 82,086 acres and has a 125-mile shoreline. They've got some great beaches out there. If you like swimming, they've got some photographs right there for you to check out, too. And it's right there on their website, and you can find it on our website right there on our homepage under the featured campground of the week. It's Sam Owen, Indiana. But again, check your date range availability, and that's what I was trying to say was I'm squinting my eyes before Daniel was kind enough to pull up his iPhone with a flashlight on it so I can see what I'm talking about here. Click on there and find out what kind of available dates that they do have in the event that you happen to venture out into the state of Idaho sometime this summer or maybe somewhere down the road in the future. And again, if you haven't already signed up for an account with recreation.gov, you can do it right there on this website in the upper right-hand corner. Look up where it says sign up. Just go ahead and click on that, and you'll be able to see the information that you need to provide to them and get yourself connected with an account. And it doesn't take a whole lot of information. They don't ask for a whole lot of private information, but some basic information there. So anytime that you make a reservation at recreation.gov, it'll make that reservation process go through a whole lot more smoothly. And that's what I like to do anytime that I book a camping trip through recreation.gov. I'm sorry, recreation.gov. All right, it's Sam Owen, Indiana, our feature campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And if you have a campground that you would like Daniel and I to feature on the program, by all means, drop me an email anytime. Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. We'll take a good look at it and make sure you include a link to the website so we can include it on our homepage under the featured campground of the week. Daniel, I had a great time out here tonight, and the party is still going on. Unfortunately for you, you slept in your bed last night. I slept in my tent. I was going to make sure, that I was going to get an early start on this trip, and being the fact that I have a 3-day weekend and I am off through Monday, I'm going to be sleeping out not only tonight, but also tomorrow. So you you put your tent out there, Daniel. You're welcome to.
If I keep talking to my wife like this, I might be out in the tent tomorrow.
Well, hey, okay. If that be the case, if somebody wants to put me out of the house, I'll gladly sleep in a tent, Daniel. But anyway, that's all the time we have for right now. We thank you so very much for joining us. Don't forget, catch us on the web anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/Happy Camper Radio, and follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And yes, my friends, you can be one too. From the Great American Backyard Campout, I'm Skip. Take care. We'll catch you next week.